To meet Peter and Louise Rossetti. They're from Saugus. Their 26-year-old daughter was murdered by two men who abducted her outside of a convenience store in 1981 in Arizona. She had stopped by to buy a pack of gum and locked her keys in her car. The two men who helped her unlock her car were rewarded when she went in and bought them a six-pack of beer. They forced her into her car, eventually killed her. They raped her 6 times. They broke 75% of the bones in her body, threw her down a mountain, stoned her. The Rossettis saw their daughter actually drive by in her car with the two assailants. They begged the police to investigate and got no action. In fact, the police said, and I quote, that they didn't provide that kind of service, end quote. There is a book out on the case. It's called Evil Intentions. These are our neighbors here in Massachusetts, and they've gone through hell, to put it mildly, and they're here to tell their story. You were there because you owned a townhouse in Arizona, is that right?
That's right.
And your daughter was meeting you to take you to the airport so that you could come back to Saugus.
She was going to meet us at the airport and see us off.
At the roadway in, Peter.
At the roadway in. But you waited and waited, and she did not show up.
That's right.
You saw her drive by in the car.
We saw the car come to the stop light. We were in the roadway in, inside the roadway inn. It has a circular driveway in front of it, but we were standing inside and we saw the blue Pinto station wagon come to the stoplight. And I said, Peter, I said, that's Suzanne's car. And he said, well, she wouldn't let anybody drive her car. And the little girl, it was in the middle, and we know it was Suzanne. It just, first I thought it was maybe a little Mexican girl because she was tiny, just under 5 feet. But we didn't recognize either of the men in the car with her, and that's why we thought maybe it must be somebody else who looks like her.
You write something in the book that when you saw that girl in the car, she was so depressed looking that she could never have been your daughter, Suzanne.
Oh, she just looked like such a sad person.
You fought the state of Arizona.
Yes.
You sued them because you feel... Now, had the police responded differently to your calls that night, and had they gone to her apartment, what would they have found?
Had they gone there when I asked them to go, they would have caught her right in the act because they had gone into my house and they raped.
They raped her at the house too, yes.
And they might have caught them doing that act, these two men, one out on furlough, one an escapee.
Yes, right.
They got drunk in the car. You write the story in such a compelling way that I barely could sleep last night after reading it.
Yes.
And they held her for how many days?
8 hours, wasn't it?
I think it was 8 hours that they really...
They abducted her at 11 o'clock, and they left her, buried at 6 o'clock in the morning.
But didn't they continue to remove money with an ATM card
yes,
from her account for several days?
That's right.
But after they had buried her and committed the murder.
Yes, and they threw her down the mountain. When she begged for mercy, they said, damn well you're going to die, and they stoned her. That's when they stoned her to death. Because
she kept landing on ledges as they threw her down the mountain, and they kept going down and trying to throw her down again and again. How do you live with the horror of this?
With difficulty. I see her in the car all the time. And I can see, and how I know it was them was when we went to pick up her belongings at the police station in October. When they gave us her folder, out of it fell a picture, and that was the man that was driving the car, and that was Gillies. No, it was Logan.
These two men, their names were Gillies.
Logan was the one that was an escapee from Michigan State Penitentiary, and Gillies was supposedly out on a work release program. He went in one door and out the other, and that's why Ron Watkins wrote the story.
How are you dealing with this, Peter?
Well, I'm doing the best I can.
You're very emotional over this, huh?
Yes.
Is it harder for you to see Peter cry?
Yes, it is. It is, because I've been able to talk it out with many of my running friends. I don't look like a runner, but I run. And when I run on the beach or when I run with my friends, in the beginning it was very difficult. But they knew Suzanne also because she was a runner. She was a sportsman. She enjoyed the outdoors.
Putting closure on this, the fact that one of them is on death row and the other one is in prison. Help us understand this, because I don't know how I could live with this. Does that help?
Well, I would like to see them put down. I don't think any murderer should be left living. I think I will go out there and put the pellets in the gas chamber and do them all down, because they were all in there for heinous crimes. And I don't want anybody to have to suffer the way we do. I thought the law took Suzanne to stop violent crimes in the United States. But it's been worse. It's been getting worse every day.
So your hope was that losing her might make a difference
right,
in this struggle.
I thought it would be, you know, maybe he took Suzanne to stop violent crimes. But because we lost Suzanne, we have many, many friends. All her friends still write to me. I have a host of all of Suzanne's friends, which we had before, but even more, they're even closer now.
What kind of a young woman was she?
Oh, Peter. Yeah, she was just she was a perfect girl. She didn't smoke, she didn't drink. She loved the outdoors, she was respectful. She never gave us, none of our children gave us any cause to worry. They were but whatever we said they had to do, they did. We never had the problem with them. She loved life, loved life, and she helped so many people.
And it was actually in going back to help, to give those boys something that when they helped her.
A reward for helping her out. That's right, an appreciation for opening her car door.
How hard was it to help Roland Watkins write this book?
Oh, that was very difficult. He spent, I don't know, 4 days with us or 5 days with us. He interviewed our son, our daughter, Peter and I, individually and collectively. 8 hours a day, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, nonstop.
This is the book. It is called Evil Intentions, and it is on the bookstores right now. And I can tell you right now, if you read it, you probably won't be able, like I couldn't, to sleep.